All right, Kaimon, when you guys took the lead, they had to change some offensively. They had to start throwing it more. And what is the difference in their passing attack, having to deal with that when they're choosing to throw it as opposed to when they have to throw it?
I feel like in situations like that, we took an option away. We took their option of running the ball. So we've harped on for the past 2 weeks, our opening weekend, the week we prepared for Pitt, is that we have to stop number two, man. Even just not just number two, but all their backs, because they had a very dynamic running group, man. And up front, they were very violent against other teams, and so we very harped on that, trying to stop the run. But once we did that tonight, we knew the only thing that they could do was air it out. It gave us a mentality. It was like, all right, y'all, we know what they're gonna do. They know what they need to do to score. So let's go ahead and attack. And I feel like they gave us an advantage. They gave us an edge that we needed, and we ended up taking over.
Where did that edge come from? Because they go up 24-14, the offense gets a score, they respond, and you guys were a totally different defense from that point on.
It's all about confidence, man. I feel like this defense carries on confidence, and you can obviously see that our defense is very player-led. Our whole team is player-led. And I feel like you have a whole group of guys, a whole group of leaders that knows like we can dominate the game whenever we can. And when we did that, when we locked in on all of our assignments and we knew what their game plan was going to be from then on out, they didn't score since what, third quarter, 10 minutes left. So there's enough said on that.
Kaimon, take us inside the locker room. Like, what's the satisfaction like in there? You know, 7-1 now, 4-0, and tonight, the toughness you guys showed. Like, what is it like in there, and how are you guys feeling, and what are you guys saying?
Ecstatic, man. I mean, shoot, we are one of the few that are 7-1 in the nation. So there's a lot of guys that are not blessed to be 7-1, but for the fact that we are, just kind of shows that we belong in the top 25, and we belong when we're right where we need to be. Of course, there's going to be areas to improve from. There's always those cases, but we are not satisfied. I'm going to go ahead and put that forth, but we are definitely happy for this win. We are glad that we, as a defense, we were able to come back from the 24-14 deficit and then ended up stopping them, and the offense began to capitalize over time. Just, there's always work to be done, but we're very happy about this, and go ahead and get this 24 hours in, celebrate with the boys, celebrate with the family, and then next week we'll move on to Virginia.
Kaimon, when you were down injured, it looked like you were walking off holding your arm a little bit. What happened on that play?
Just got a little banged up with my shoulder, man. We're gonna be all good. Just a minor setback for a major comeback. So.
And that was on the fumble, right? If I remember correctly.
Yes, it was.
What was your point of view on that play?
I just knew they had to get the first down, so I just knew they had a formation, had a little 13 personnel thing going on, pistol formation, and they actually been running that for the past 4 or 5 plays. They ran the same play for I think 4 times in a row, if I'm not mistaken. So I kind of understood where they were going to go with the ball, and I trusted my gut, I trusted my instincts, I trusted our play calling, and I locked out the dude that was in front of me, and I made the play. So of course, I wouldn't have made that play without everybody else being in their spot, man, and that's pretty much it. So I'm glad I was able to make that play.
Mac made a pretty big deal about the physicality of Notre Dame when you guys played them last month, saying you got to get to that level. Was tonight an example that you guys have made a lot of progress in getting to that point and becoming that kind of team?
Ain't no question, man. I feel like I feel like we see it, and I feel like everybody else sees that we are definitely a more physical team than we were when we played Notre Dame. I feel like we are a more sound team than when we played Notre Dame. I feel like we are a better team than when we played Notre Dame. I feel like it just shows on every level. Like I said, there's always room to improve, but just in situations to know, when we're down, we're not. That doesn't mean we're out. Just because we're down by a touchdown and a field goal, that doesn't mean, oh crap, we can't come back from this. Just because we're down, that doesn't mean we're out. And we find that surge that we need, not from the crowd, not from the coaches. We find it within ourselves and know, hey, y'all, we need to turn up. We need to go ahead and get some stops. We need to get some turnovers. We need to get these guys off the field so our offense can produce. And so I feel like ever since we, from Notre Dame, we just learned how to do that more frequently. And just an example from Virginia Tech, and then we having us shown tonight, man. Just know, when we put our heads to it, man, we just lock in on our details and we stay physical and show toughness. Can't nobody stop us.
And on that note, with the loss of Ray, who is that voice for you guys on the field that can really bring everybody together when you guys are down?
I feel like it's a mix of everybody, man. Everybody expresses their leadership in many different ways. Raven Hassett, he was a very essential leader, and for the past few years, couple of years that I played with him, man, he's always been that guy. He led by example more than his words, and definitely losing him was kind of a little bit of a hole in our defense, and I hate that he's gone. But I feel like that gave an opportunity for everybody else to step up as leaders, not just only in the D-line room, but just also all across the board. There's many people leading in their own situations, like Power Echols, Sid Gray, Jabari Ritzy, Noah Taylor, Chris Collins, the list can go on. So everybody leads in their own different ways, and I feel like losing a very key guy in our defense allowed other people to step up and allow them to lead the way that they want to lead.
You were involved in the play where you guys forced a fumble. Can you take us through that play?
So just like I said, man, it was like that 13 personnel formation. I saw where they were going. I had an idea what they were wanting to run, and I just stuck my responsibility, and I went with my gut, and I wanted to make the play. So it was just after a while we knew it was like I said, it was like their run game was very limited after we stoned them a couple of times. And so in that last drive, where they started lining up personnel, they started loading it up to the field. We kind of already knew where the play was going after that. So just I committed to it, locked the dude out, and we made the play. So,
Kaimon, you said ain't no question when we asked you about the toughness. I mean, was tonight one of those like sort of gut check kind of nights where you got some guys hurt on defense?
yeah.
You know they're coming in with the leading rusher in the ACC. You know the way they play, sort of the physical nature, and you're facing the deficit in the second half to where it could get worse. Like, was it? Was that what it was? Like, is that sort of what this was tonight? Gut check?
I don't feel like it was a gut check. I feel like, we've been in these situations before, so it wasn't really something that caught us off guard. We just knew, like, all right, we're down, but we got to come back from this. Like, we know we can take it to another level. We can kick it into a whole nother gear. So once we locked in on that, once we understood that, man, we just got in that next gear and rolled, man. I mean, I couldn't be any prouder of our defense, man. Just showing, like, just because we get down a little bit, that doesn't mean we're just going to be out for the count. Like, that just shows how tough we are. We have a lot of teams that talk about how tough they are, how they want to, take our quarterback out. But we just show, like, we don't have to do all that talking. We don't have to say what we're going to do to be tough. We'll just show you. So.
Don't talk about it, be about it.
Exactly.
Little satisfaction because of what their linebacker said, because Max said you guys definitely knew about it all week.
Oh yeah, man, definitely satisfaction. Drake's up and walking. He threw some touchdowns over their heads, man. So I mean, there ain't nothing else to it. We got the dub at the end of the day too. Little cherry on top.